Hey guys, you got Chris and Sean with Talking Through the Medias. We have a special one today. So, a couple days ago, along with the rest of the world, we picked up a copy of Doom. Yes! Been waiting so long for this.
Prepare yourself.
Needless to say, I have been on a bender and I beat the campaign. I've gone through all the multiplayer modes. So first, before I delve into, we're gonna do a video review on Doom to tell you whether or not we think this is worth your $60. But before we do that, let's talk for a minute about why Doom is so important for video gamers like me and Chris and the rest of the world, pretty much everybody now. Okay, so the original Doom came out in 1993, okay? This was pretty much the second 3D shooter kind of game that got big publicity. There was a couple of them before, but this was really the biggest one before that was Wolfenstein. It was done by the same company, id Software. For those of you who follow id Software, the big guy there was John Carmack. He's like a graphics genius who actually recently left id Software, and he was working on he had an aerospace company. He was also working on the Oculus VR. So in '93, John Carmack, John Romero, Dave Taylor, Kevin Cloud, Adrian Carmack, Tom Hall, all these guys came out with a game called Doom. Okay, this was like the biggest thing in the world at the time of video games when it came out. It was, the graphics were unbelievable for the time. It was really, really violent, which you really just hadn't seen something quite like that when it came out. And it also started kind of the Chris, you may remember this, the whole shareware deal with computer games, where you get to play a demo of the game, and if you like the demo, you can pay to get the full version. Do you remember that, Chris? Shareware.
I remember a little bit of that.
Shareware. All right. Subsequently, Doom was a huge hit, and then '94, we got bigger because the world already knew what Doom was, and so we got this just huge explosion of Doom, 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 Doom. Everybody was talking about Doom, and it was causing everybody to upgrade their hardware and their computers, I believe. So with the success of Doom in '93, let's fast forward to '94. We get the successor, or I should say the sequel to Doom, which is Doom 2 Hell on Earth. And this was a huge success. I mean, even way bigger than Doom was. And it was worldwide, and because of the whole phenomenon that Doom everybody was putting on their computers, and Doom 2 kind of even more so caused everybody to upgrade their computers. So we had to wait about 9 years to about 2003 to get Doom 3. And the pacing and the type of game it was when we got Doom 3 was very different from the first two Dooms. Doom 3 was considered, the plan was for this to be the ultimate horror game. And the other ones were kind of run and gun, strafe, circle around the enemies, and shoot nonstop. And this one was supposed to be less enemies, more atmospheric. The emphasis was on hardware, texture, and lighting. So they had to develop this state-of-the-art. And I remember it was funny because nobody could run this game, Chris, when it came out. Even if you had like a $400 video card or $300, I think it was a $300. And I was one of those guys. I had a $300. I think it was like a GeForce 4 Ti 4600 or something. I apologize, guys, if I screwed that up. It was a Ti GeForce. And it still couldn't run Doom.
Well, let me ask you this. Was that when Doom finally came to consoles, or was it still strictly on PC?
No, so after the success of Doom and Doom 2, we started seeing ports to like the Super NES had one, the Sega 32X had one, the Nintendo 64 had one, which was very different. The other ones were kind of just straightforward ports. And it didn't need to be anything different. Everybody knew what it was. They loved Doom. Let's just play Doom on the PlayStation. I had pretty much all the versions of it.
Now I remember that, because that had to have been not in 2003. That means that game. Are we still talking about Doom 3? Because that would have been
Doom 3 came out in '03.
Okay. Okay, wait, no three. So well, we're talking about Super Nintendo, and we're talking
Yeah,
about
the late '90s. They did a lot of ports for PlayStation and Nintendo
like,
64 and things like that. It's and
oh,
even
okay.
Game Boy Advanced. I think they put it on, and now you can get it on your cell
Yeah.
phones. It's backwards compatible. I still have it on my Xbox One.
Hmm.
So we had to.
So,
So 2003. We had to wait all the way from then till now. And the background story of this, real quick, guys, is this went through development hell, kind of like a game like Duke Nukem Forever. I don't know if Chris has even heard of this
mm.
game.
Oh, Duke Nukem. I know
Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
So they started, they stopped. They started, they stopped. They didn't like what they saw. It was getting bad, kind of, oh, this isn't going to be good. So they just scrapped the whole thing. And then eventually the guy for id Software, John Carmack, just quit. He's just like, I'm done with this. And for you graphics geeks out there, he was like the demigod of graphics engineering. He was like the guy. So now, fast forward to 2016, and we have what I would say it's kind of a reboot, because you don't have to play any of these other Dooms. Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3, all the other versions of it. You don't need to play any of those. But if you have, you will really appreciate this.
Hmm.
Okay. Before I go into details, I will just, my opinion, this is the, if you have all the settings cranked up, whether it be PC or Xbox One or PlayStation 4, this is the, especially the consoles, this is the most beautiful game you have played on a console, bar none. I don't care what you compare it to. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is powered
So,
by the new ID
so,
Tech 6.
so Deep Space. We're talking Mass Effect. We're talking all these other games. You're saying Doom has got them beat.
It's got them beat graphically, absolutely. Absolutely. This is a new engine. This is a brand new engine called ID Tech 6.
Okay.
And for those of you who are Call of Duty people, even the Call of Duties were loosely based off of a version of the Doom 3 engine, which is ancient, but they just, they add stuff to it and they take stuff away. This is the new version of the id, because these guys are pioneers. As a matter of fact, from what I understand, the lead programmer, the lead graphics engineer from, Crysis, Crytek, he left Crytek to come work on this particular game. So this has id and the guy from Crytek, and Crytek is the other company now who is known for absolutely computer breaking gorgeous games. All right, so this game, it takes place basically on two locations, between UAC, which is a Union Aerospace company, on Mars, and Hell, and you kind of go back and forth between Mars and Hell. The game, it fires off at a lightning pace. I mean, immediately when you start, it's shooting and killing, right away. You do not have to wait for anything. I mean, immediately as soon as the game fires up, there's like a 10-second cutscene, and bang, you have a gun. You are shooting immediately. And guys, the best way I can describe the gunplay in this is, and Chris probably hasn't played these particular games just because they're old computer games, and Chris, I know he's played a lot of computer games, but I think that these not a lot of people play. Would be like Serious Sam or Painkiller. And what I mean is, there is no covering behind anything. You can't hide. You just run around the entire time. There's no, because now they have these things where you hit the button and you can hide behind a ledge and shoot over it. There's none of that. It's just straight up balls to the walls. You are shooting continuously the entire time, doing circles around the enemy. Now you can double jump. So if there's a ledge, you can jump up to the ledge and try. But they pursue you relentlessly. I died so many times trying to beat this campaign, Chris. I mean, a lot. And I didn't play it on the easy level though, but I didn't want to play it on easy.
How would you describe the build up to each boss level? Like every level that you got to was,
yes, there are bosses. There are bosses in this, and some of them were extremely frustrating trying to kill them. And it took me, I think one of them took me 10 or 12 times to get through. And it was just like, you know when you get that, you're so frustrated, you just want to like, fuck this game. You just throw the controller down. But I was like, no, it's Doom. I'm going to push through this bitch. I'm going to beat this motherfucker. And I knuckled down, and it's just trial and error. You try one thing, it doesn't work, so you try another thing, and finally you get close, but you don't beat it. And so you use what you learn, and eventually after 20, 30 times, you beat it. The pacing is brutal in this. It does not let up the entire time. And I think I beat the campaign. I think it was 12 hours and 45 minutes it took me through to get through the single player campaign.
Okay.
It was very colorful. It's not like one bland palette color, which a lot of the sometimes with these new games when they're doing new engines, they try to stay a little safe. Like kind of like when Gears of War came out, everything was kind of gray and kind of a dark color. Versus Gears of War 3, everything was colorful. Same thing. Doom 3 was not very colorful. It was kind of a very dark. This is dark, but it's very colorful. The landscapes are absolutely gorgeous. The enemies, the animations, like the enemies aren't like rigid. Like if you see them turn, you can see like their flesh move. The animation is absolutely phenomenal, and it is gory as shit. This game is so gory. And it takes a lot for me to say that because I play a lot of violent games. But this game is, because they've incorporated something that they did not have in the other ones, which is these finishing moves where you shoot the guy and he starts glowing. And so you know you can run up to him and hit the button and it will take over like a Mortal Kombat type finishing move and rip their head open and pull their tongue out. For those of you who do like Doom and, me and Chris's age who played these games, everything that you loved about those games is in this new one. All the weapons that you loved are in there. The soundtrack, if you really pay attention, you'll notice that they redid the soundtrack, and it's a lot of the stuff is really low-tuned, heavy metal guitar playing that you guys are going to love this because it just gets you in the mood to just shoot everything, which you're already doing anyway. It just amps you up. But you hear the old soundtrack just redone. You even hear the version that they used in Part 3, which was kind of a different spin. But you do get to hear both of them. Sound effects, absolutely badass. The weapons, you feel the impact. The gruesomeness is there. It's not. I was a little worried by watching the gameplay that because when I play a shooter game, I want to be able to feel the recoil and feel like the weapon has punch and not just feels like I'm shooting a fake gun. I want it to really feel good, and it does. The gunplay is phenomenal in this. You get to see all of the classic enemies in this from the other ones, every single one of them, including some new ones. And the ones that they brought from the other ones, you can clearly tell that they were definitely trying to keep in the same vein of the character design, but they were changed a little bit. And I was blown away. Like, I literally wished I could just because when you hit the pause button, it goes to a black screen, and you're like, damn, you almost wish you could pause and it would just freeze the frame so you could sit back and just appreciate how beautiful the game really is. It's phenomenal. As far as the length of time you need to do it, I was kind of not trying to rush, but I was trying to push the pace. And I felt like I got a lot of the secret areas, because there are little secret areas you can get to, and you get these little dummies that he picks up and kind of looks at. It's like a Doom doll. You can find them spread out the level. When you guys watch this, I want feedback from you guys to let me know how many times you died trying to kill the Spider Mastermind at the end of the campaign. How many times did you die trying to beat that guy?
I'll let you know.
Yeah, it was brutal. And then, I don't know, should I give spoilers?
Spoiler alert. Here's a warning for spoiler alert.
All right, so after the long, drawn-out battle of you fighting this big arachnid thing with a big brain on it, and it was in the other Dooms, you do a finishing move on him, and I don't know if you remember, there was a gun called the BFG 9000.
The big fucking gun?
The big fucking gun. Yeah, you run up to the spider thing, and you shove. It shows him shoving the BFG up into the thing's mouth and pulling the trigger, and it blows the whole brain off the top of the creature. I was just like, oh my god. Oh my god. I wish I could have replayed and watched it in slow motion. And then you get what, in my opinion, is the coolest roll credits you've ever seen in a game, and it really makes you appreciate just how beautiful the game is, because what they do is it's almost like a movie. They kind of turn the text sideways or in different angles, and they put it into a shooting scene where you can see, and it's all rendered in engine, but you can see the character that you're playing kind of like from the side or from a down top shot, and he's shooting demons, but you really get to appreciate just how fucking beautiful the engine that they built for this game is. I sat through the whole credits. I was amazed. I was like, I'm going to play this again on ultra difficulty level. I will beat this shit again.
So
All right.
I'm starting to hear that I can tell in your voice that this is going to be a pretty high number. So let's give it from a scale from 1 to 10. And I should have probably for you. I probably should have said a scale from a scale to 9 to 10. What do you rate this game overall?
The only thing, and I'm going to have to go through it because I didn't find it, and I was hoping, well, maybe it'll be an expansion. What I am missing, the only thing I am missing is co-op on the campaign.
That would have been cool.
So like Halo, we can play Doom together, me and Chris, me and whoever playing the campaign. It does have multiplayer, and that's what we'll talk about now. It does have multiplayer. It's got your run-of-the-mill, like a capture the flag type theory. It's also got like kind of like Call of Duty where you have to get their dog tags when you kill them, except it's like a soul steal, so you take their soul when you kill them. It's got this, my favorite mode, I believe it's called Warpath, which is, and I think we played it the other day, Chris, where this zone, it's like King of the Hill, except the zone moves around the map really slowly.
Right.
To where, and it will, like, you'll see like a little guiding trail you have to follow to get to the zone, and then you have to stay in this moving area. So you have to move with it as you're getting shot at by the other team, and it's nonstop. I mean, it's balls to the walls, and I've lost more than I've won playing this mode, but it is really addictive.
Yeah, we've already met a couple of guys on the in the multiplayer who's already at like level master pursuit.
Yeah, we're like level 4
non-stop. Like, screw the campaign. I'm all about multiplayer. The multiplayer is pretty fun and fast paced. You got your demons running around.
Very fast paced.
Crazy. If you're not paying attention, they catch you camping like me, cowering in the corner, like not knowing what to do.
Big monster.
Out of nowhere.
You can turn into a monster.
Yeah, it's a very colorful game, and I really enjoy it. So now I got to get on it with the campaign. So I'm gonna try to catch up to you on that and try to beat that story because it sounds like it's gonna be a blast. So I'm just a punk. I just don't like to play horror video games at night. So I like to wait till the sun first comes up. I get that stretch, and then all of a sudden,
I will say this: it was almost a perfect game. If they just include, and maybe they can, guys at id, maybe you can, for the season pass, maybe you can put in co-op for the campaign, boys. Come on.
Yeah,
beyond that, I loved it. Absolutely love it. I'm still loving it. I'm still going to play the shit out. I'm going to redo the campaign. I'm going to play all the multiplayer. I'm going to level up. Me and Chris are going to play some campaign, or the multiplayer. We just need to get other people we know to buy this because people are a little skeptical because of the beta. I don't know if you guys out there played the multiplayer beta. Don't let that worry you. Check it out. Buy Doom. By the way, if you have any questions, anything, suggestions, you want us to check something out, if there's a game you want us to check out, let us know. Put it down in the box below. Any closing thoughts on this, Chris?
Only other thing I think I just can't wait to finish that storyline because you've already convinced me. I gotta hurry up and man up and just play it. I'm just looking more forward. I hope what you just said was true. I hope that in an expansion, maybe in a DLC, maybe they will make a little side co-op story for like 1 to 4 players or something. That would be cool. I was hoping a lot of games are doing it nowadays, and I was very surprised because I saw multiplayer, and then when I saw it wasn't multiplayer co-op in the story, I was like, I really wanted that.
The only thing I can think of maybe is due to the hardware limitations. They can't keep the frame rate up with more than one player in the arena and all those monsters because it is beautiful, and they're, for those of you guys with Xboxes, very once in a while you will see the frame rate dip a little bit. But it's nothing to worry about. 99.999% of the time, it's butter smooth. No worries. Like that doo-doo. So, Chris, we're gonna wait to hear Chris's, and I'm sure we'll post this later, what Chris's post-campaign thoughts are.
So now that you convinced me to finish that storyline, I'll give my thoughts on it, and the only thing I concur. That's I'll hopefully get through this story fast because I don't know. I just gotta, like I said, I just gotta man up.
There's not much. I'm not gonna lie, Chris. There's not much story. It's mostly action driven. And I don't want to tell you. We'll do a full disclosure spoiler after Chris has gone through because I don't want to ruin everything for Chris because he hasn't.
And then we'll give some frontal nudity on this Doom game after I finish with it.
Some full vag spoilers.
So yeah, so like Sean said, let us know what other games that you guys are excited about that's coming out, and we'll play it. Hopefully, we'll get everything rigged up where you can start seeing our gameplay pretty soon. That's coming sooner than you guys think. So we got a lot of things on the horizon, and Sean's got a lot of ideas, especially with these games, where we're gonna do some cool stuff. So be on the lookout for that. You guys are already trying to steal a console from us, So
yeah, right. We're getting there, man. We're about to give away X-Men Apocalypse tickets. It's a lot faster than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, it looks like that might actually happen. But I mean, if we don't make it to that contest before the movie comes out, let's extend it a week out after each blockbuster, just to give people a chance,
Because so we love you.
Yeah, so let's make that into an official rule. You have until up to a week out when a movie, a blockbuster,
the second weekend.
That's on our list. Yeah, for that second weekend, because the last contest winner saw it, Civil War, on the second weekend. So yeah, let's keep that tradition going all the way to the second weekend, and then we'll move on to the next blockbuster if we don't hit the mark. But I mean, we're going to be giving tickets away. It looks like sooner than we thought. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But and then it's going to be great when we hit 1,000. And
someone's getting a console.
Oh man, I mean, I hope I win.
Yeah.
but anyway, anything else? I mean, I'm already getting ready to get up there and just start playing some games. So what do you think, Sean? Anything else you want to say before we sign out?
Yeah, go buy Doom. Don't wait. Don't wait. Go buy Doom. Get it for the Xbox One or the PC.
Straight to the point. Doom, the makers of Doom is already writing that check. Sean's his endorsement is for sale.
They better make a sequel. That's all I can say. They better, because they leave it on a cliffhanger, guys. I won't tell you what it is. It's definitely open for the sequel. I will definitely buy the sequel when it comes out because it will only get better. They might wait because I can't even imagine how many thousands of hours went into making this game. It's probably going to be one of those titles that they when they release the new consoles, the new versions of the console, it's probably going to be another 4 years before we see another Doom, at least. But in the meantime, keep watching the movies, playing the games, and killing the nudes.
Doom.
We're here to discuss. You're socializing enough?
Yes, I am, sir.
Have you gone on any dates?
That's none of your goddamn business, sir.